Independence Day suddenly became Earthquake Day today. Thanks for joining us on this 4th of July. I'm Ross DiMattei.
And I'm Jackie Kostek. We're in for Todd and Trisha. That earthquake hit Ridgecrest, California, but rumbled here in our valley.
More than 80 aftershocks followed, and they might not be finished yet. Kern County officials say there were gas leaks and water leaks, but most of the power has been restored. Kern County Fire says less than an hour after the quake, they responded to dozens of incidents, from fires to medical assistance. And at one point, the Ridgecrest Regional Hospital had to be evacuated. A cooling center has also been opened.
Now take a look at this massive house fire that fire crews responded to in Ridgecrest. No word on whether anyone was inside or hurt, but you can see crews spraying it down with water. Kern County says apart from fires, search and rescue teams are also out surveying areas.
And right now, you're taking a look at pictures from a home in Searles Valley, California. That is the epicenter of this earthquake. You can see food items strewn across the floor, a broken mirror, and a bunch of broken glasses on the floor as well. The homeowner says the whole place was shaking and they had to turn off the gas out of an abundance of caution.
And check out this picture near Ridgecrest, California. The road appears to have been ripped open because of that strong earthquake. You can see that large gap right there in the asphalt.
We have team coverage for you tonight from Decatur and Flamingo to our own weather center.
But let's start with 13 investigative reporter Joe Bartels. He's live from Ridgecrest, which is just 11 miles from the epicenter of the biggest earthquake. Joe.
Well, Jackie and Ross, the shaking here in Ridgecrest was intense, so much so that the regional hospital here had to be evacuated, as you mentioned, and there's concerns right now whether it is structurally sound. This town of about 48,000 faring pretty well, but some people are really picking up the pieces after this really intense earthquake. Take a look at some of these photos here. This was from earlier, right around 10:30 this morning. The quake rattled stores and businesses. You can see what was left of some of the stores with items just really all over the place. And there were, as you mentioned, problems with the roads too. This is a photo of one of the nearby highways, which opened up with a huge crack in it. Big boulders also had to be removed from the main highway that accesses Ridgecrest, and the concerns right now remain for the buildings and the people of this town, especially that hospital.
There is some structural damage of the hospital. There is some sprinklers that are leaking. We do have a building inspector there, a structural engineer, that is taking a look at that right now.
And amazingly, there has been no reports of any deaths, only minor injuries from this earthquake, which is the largest in decades, felt by millions of people from Orange County, California, all the way up to Clark County, Nevada, and beyond. So there are scattered power outages in this town, also water leaks, as you mentioned, and also we saw Pacific Gas and Electric out here checking for those natural gas leaks as well. There have been at least 100 aftershocks felt in and around this area, and the USGS says that there is concerns that there could be even larger aftershocks as we move forward into the next 24 hours and beyond as well. We're also hearing that authorities are pleading with everyone to be prepared in the event that there are these large aftershocks here in this area in Southern California, all the way up to Clark County. Reporting live, Joe Bartels, 13 Action News.
Joe, great information there. Thank you so much. Leaders in Ridgecrest, California say they have received calls from the White House, House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, as well as Senator Kamala Harris. All of those leaders offering their support.
Now, luckily, there are no reports of injuries, but we do want to show you some new video from the moment the quake started. Inside a Ridgecrest home, you can see cabinets shaking, pictures swaying on the walls, and items falling from shelves. The quake lasted about 10 seconds.
One family there in Ridgecrest says when the tremors started to calm down, they used what they had on hand for the holiday to calm their kids.
The kids are rattled, and as parents, our job is to calm our kids down, and why not distract them with good old-fashioned fireworks.
Good strategy there. But while they did try to calm those kids, there have been dozens of aftershocks.
Right now, a state of emergency has been declared in Ridgecrest, California, where most of the damage has been reported. Reporter
Kirsten Holmes explains that this is the biggest earthquake to hit the region in decades.
It just started like shaking and then it just started rolling.
After a 6.4 magnitude earthquake rocked Southern California.
Customers were coming in here because they were closing businesses in Ridgecrest. They said it was horrifying. Stuff was just coming down. The ceiling was coming down.
The biggest earthquake to hit the area in 2 decades.
Please go next door to your neighbors. Just because you're okay doesn't mean that they are.
The quake center here near Ridgecrest, California, about 150 miles from Los Angeles, where residents felt the impact. Dozens of aftershocks reported.
It's certain that this area is going to be shaken a lot today, and some of those aftershocks will probably exceed magnitude 5, which means they will become damaging.
Local emergency agencies flooded with calls.
The police are out doing a marvelous job. Kern County has set up an emergency facility here. Everyone has offered their help.
Officials urging people to only call 911 for emergencies. I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
Meanwhile, back here in the valley, we have been keeping a close eye on any more aftershocks, and there have already been dozens.
13 First Alert meteorologist Danny Beckstrom shows you the latest on any seismic activity. Danny.
Yeah, it's been a busy day for seismologists. Want to plot this on the map so you can see where the epicenter is. Again, it's about 10 miles away from Ridgecrest, California, at 6.4 magnitude once again. This is a strike slip fault. Initially, there were reports that it could be the San Andreas fault. That is not the case. It's a strike slip fault in the area. Now, Ridgecrest, that is the largest, closest population center to the epicenter. Population about 28,000 people. We've had 80 plus aftershocks. So not just that initial earthquake, the 6.4, but it's been a busy morning and afternoon. So about 28,000 people here, but this impacted millions of people from Los Angeles to here in Las Vegas that felt this. We're about 150 miles west-southwest, or excuse me, the epicenter is about 150 miles west-southwest of Las Vegas. Plenty of people felt it here, and that definitely was quite the way to start your 4th of July. So that's been our focus so far this morning and afternoon, but the forecast moving forward is all about the fireworks. So I'll have your 4th of July evening forecast for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Danny, sounds good. Just minutes after the earthquake at 10:35, as you might imagine, the phones here at KTNV, they were ringing off the hook.
Those calls coming from the Las Vegas Valley, Laughlin, Prim, Mesquite, and even Indian Springs.
13 Action News reporter Sean Delancey is live near Decatur and Flamingo on top of an active fault line to explain how a big quake can happen right here in our own valley.
Jackie Ross, this is the Decatur fault. It looks calm right now, but this is two massive slabs of earth pressing against each other, building up friction and energy. When that goes, it pops, and that's what creates an earthquake. A quake 150 miles from Las Vegas sent the valley into fits and shakes. On the phone, USGS geophysicist Paul Caruso says luckily its epicenter was in a rural area.
The shallow quake near a city is, our worst fear.
In a populated center,
for instance, if we'd had this same magnitude quake right underneath Los Angeles, there would be significant damage and casualties.
the same, he says, is true for Las Vegas. At UNLV, geoscience professor Wendy Taylor has been tracking and trying to predict devastating quakes in the Las Vegas Valley. In a February interview, she said the valley's geography could work against us.
We have the basin effect. The basin effectively is like Jell-O. So if you bonk the sides of the bowl, it wobbles harder than the mountains will.
There are between 5 and 7 faults in the Las Vegas Valley, a few right under your homes and businesses. Underground bumps, a clear sign that below, the earth is slowly grinding against itself.
This steep hill gets created. And so if they don't bulldoze it a whole lot or anything, you still see this steep hill in the roadway.
The last quake to be felt here was much closer, but didn't originate under our feet. A magnitude 4.8 near Caliente. Taylor says that the ground under Vegas is not nearly as likely to produce a massive earthquake as the areas around us, so hopefully faults just like this one remain quiet. Sean Delancey, 13 Action News.
Sean, thanks. Now, I did not feel this earthquake at my house, but I know people all across Clark County felt the tremors, including right in downtown Las Vegas.
Yeah, I did not either, but 13 Action News reporter Alicia Patillo met several people who were shocked by the shaking.
Well, that earthquake was felt throughout the valley, including right here in downtown Las Vegas. I met a California woman moments after she felt the shock right here on Carson and 3rd Street.
I was in the parking structure on the D Motel unloading my car, and then I noticed that the car next to me was moving.
Zena noticed her car was moving too, quickly realizing what was happening.
Oh, it's an earthquake.
Zena's first reaction
was just to call the name of Jesus because I was on the 9th floor.
Zena wasn't the only one who felt the shake downtown. Ray was shocked when he felt the tremble.
I figured the wife was just kind of like enjoying the song and the bed's kind of moving like that. I'm like, oh, you're really into the song? And she's like, that's not me. I'm like, And that's when I realized, oh wait, I think we're having an earthquake.
As for Zena, she's only in town for the holiday weekend. She says things could have been a lot different for her if she was back home in California.
But we didn't get all of that out here. They got the worst out there, so it was kind of mild.
In downtown Las Vegas, Alicia Patillo, 13 Action News.
Clark County says now could be a good time for you to download its free Southern Nevada Community Preparedness app. It will give you information you need to keep your family safe,
including a way to make an emergency plan, and also gives you information about the nearest emergency shelters just in case.
And don't forget, even when we're not on air, you can find the latest breaking news on our KTNV mobile app and request to get push alerts. It's free in the App Store and in Google Play.